Festus Onifade, your host and your partner to consumer justice. Wherever you are listening to us from today, in your car, in your shop, in the traffic, at home, in the office, or even in the marketplace, turn up the volume of your radio. The topic that you are about to listen to today is going to save your money, save your reputation, and give you peace of mind. Before we go into all the details, let us have the news making round in Consumer Watch. And I have with me Barrister Stella Maris to give us all the details.
According to reports by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, it reveals that while Nigerians have eagerly upgraded their smartphones, the infrastructure has struggled to keep pace, leaving approximately 50% of users with 5G capable devices stranded without access to the high-speed network. The document, titled Connected but Undeserved, The Signal Quality Gap, was released as part of the Commission's Industry Performance Review for January 2026. It exposes a critical utilization gap where device adoption has significantly outstripped network rollout. According to Edoyemi Ogo, the NCC's Director of Technical Standards and Network Integrity, this disparity means that half of the subscribers who have invested in 5G hardware since the 2022 launch are unable to tap into the service simply because coverage remains non-existent in their locations.
Wow.
Currently, the 5G signal footprint covers only about 13% of the population, forcing the vast majority of users to rely on older 4G networks for their daily digital needs. Beyond the 5G dilemma, the report paints a vivid picture of a digital caste system where location dictates the quality of online experience.
Wow. Did not really say well of the rollout of the 5G. I mean, 3 years after 5G have been rolled out, I mean, pathetically, still 50% of the consumers who have devices that are enabled that can access that service. Doctor, don't you see that this is a grave problem for Nigerian consumers?
It's a matter of infrastructure. When it comes to a matter like this,
Wow.
Individuals don't provide the infrastructure. It's government, the enabling environment to make it work. It's not there. So government must intensify effort to ensure that adequate infrastructures are provided for users to have opportunity of using their phone.
So what the old news about 5G rollout is a farce.
Not exactly.
Because I mean, what is then the usage when you say you have rolled out 5G, you are no more on 4G, and now consumers who have enabled device can still not access the service.
Don't forget that telecommunication has been deregulated. So we have private. So it's controlled by what government does is regulatory alone.
Okay.
Making policy, guideline. So it is the infrastructure is, is mainly provided by the private sector.
Private sector.
Private telecommunication companies. So and it requires money.
Wow.
So government cannot take it over again and
begin to invest in it.
But I think the bottom line is that government should be able to give them bailout if possible. Because
or don't you think there should be a time for rollout? If you say you are rolling out this infrastructure within so time frame, you should roll out, because that's the way it's done in advanced country. You can't say you are all rolling out ad infinitum.
Exactly.
I mean you are roll out within this.
So it's part of regulation.
That's
part of regulation.
Barrister Stella, you have more news.
Yes. How incessant greed collapse frustrates Nigerian businesses. Nigeria's electricity grid collapsed again on Tuesday morning, plunging Africa's most populous nation into darkness for the second time in 2026. This further deepens concerns over the fragility of the central power system and the rising cost of doing business in Nigeria. Business Day's check on the national distribution load profile at 11:15 a.m. showed that all distribution companies, including Abuja, Eko, Benin, Enugu, Ibadan, Jos, Kano, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, and Yola, had zero load. The repeated collapse underscores ongoing challenges in Nigeria's power sector, including infrastructure strain and generation shortfalls, leaving millions of homes and businesses without electricity.
This is very frustrating, particularly for small businesses and household users. Don't you think that it is a time we put a stop to this incessant grid collapse?
Government was very fair. I listened on Channel TV about a week ago by a professor from the University of Lagos, Professor Yomi Oke, and I share his view that issue of national grid collapse is not really technical. It's a human error, yes.
Okay.
Because you from a generation transmission to distribution. So if there's human mistake within the
system,
yes, then it will cause it.
Don't you
So
think
but people blame it on government.
Don't you think there is an over-reliance on national grid? I mean, a country that's as vast as Nigeria, we shouldn't be relying on a single grid. There have been advocacy in this area that
government practitioners have advocated that
deregulate that
exactly.
area.
Government practitioners have advocated that it has to be totally deregulated.
State should
allow
generate.
people to come in.
Local government should generate.
Government has made, in fact, if you look at the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, issue of power generation has been government. That is the subnational. They have been given the constitutional right to generate.
To now generate
power
and distribute.
But as we speak, since I think 2021, I don't think there's any government in Nigeria that has taken any step, in terms of generation or transmission of electricity in Nigeria.
No.
So yes, I agree that it's capital intensive, but notwithstanding with what federal government is giving to the state,
We should
maybe at regional level, like maybe southwest, south, the governors can pool their resources together
and begin to
and
do
build.
something. Yeah.
So I think that will be better.
I agree with you.
Except we do that, it will continue this way.
I agree with you.
The listing of loan apps. The FCCPC has stepped up enforcement against unregistered digital lenders. Between January 21st and 29th, they started delisting non-compliant loan apps from app stores and warned of tougher sanctions. This is all to protect Nigerians from harassment, illegal data sharing, and extortion, a clear move under the FCCPA 2018 to safeguard consumer rights.
I think, Doctor, this is also another area that Nigerian consumers, and particularly Nigerians, are suffering, where unsuspecting Nigerians, subscribe to a app for a soft loan, and before you know it, their right of privacy is being abused. They are being called out unnecessarily. So we must commend some of the government agencies that are doing a few things to see that that sector is sanitized. I think
yes, I agree with you, but if you look at it, very well, you discover that there is no legal regime or legal framework regarding that. If you still look at Sale of Goods Act, the one we have today in Nigeria, it was in colonial relics. So, what law governs
the
e-marketing, e-transact online?
Yes.
When you see an app, you apply.
Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has now rolled out some regulations.
It can be by but again.
They've now rolled out some regulations just to sanitize those regulations, and including CBN. They are doing a lot in that sector. But my sign has been that in spite of what they are doing, a lot of Nigerians are still falling prey of
why?
A lot of Nigerians. Education. A lot of people need to know. They need to know that their right needs to be protected. So many Nigerians do not know that they have right to privacy, in spite of the fact that you subscribe for a loan, you subscribe to get this, you subscribe to collect it, does not mean that you lose your right to privacy. When you default in payment of those loans, there are rules that guide the game.
So voluntary non-fiduciary, that is the law. So when you consent to an injury, do you complain later? You don't complain. Yes, Federal Competition Protection Consumer Commission is doing a lot. But the question is this: when you voluntarily consent to an injury, then who can help you?
So dear listeners,
you have said, more enlightenment.
Yes,
is very important.
AI voice, face cam, when criminals become you. Stay with us and let me take you through this. Let me start with a story. Imagine this. You are sitting quietly one afternoon. Your phone rings. You answer. And you hear my brother. And you hear your brother's voice crying. He is shaking. And he says, my sister, please help me. I'm in a serious trouble. I need 200,000. Now, the voice you hear, you recognize the voice. You recognize the accent. And you panic. You don't even have money. You have to borrow money. You send it. 5 minutes later, your brother calls you again. And you ask him, have you received the money? He said, what money? I am fine. I'm at work. My people. The voice you just heard and responded to is a computer voice. It is artificial intelligence. It's a voice by a criminal. That's what we are talking about today. So join us together as we discuss how AI voice and face cam when the criminal becomes you. In simple language, criminals are now using technology to pretend to be you. They pretend to be your family, your pastor, your boss, your friend, just to steal your money. So the question is, what is AI scam? Artificial intelligence means machines that can think and learn like humans. Scammers now use it to copy your voice, copy your face, and your videos. Copy even your mannerism, the way you speak, from your WhatsApp, from your Facebook, from TikTok, Instagram, anywhere. A small voice is enough for them. A small video is enough. How do they do this? Let's break it down. They watch you. They study your online life, collect your data, your voice notes, your videos, and your mannerism. They clone you. They use special software and they attack your contacts. They collect your money before you know it. Your money is gone. This afternoon, I have two distinguished gentlemen in the studio to do justice to this topic. And very distinguished also is a public servant, CP Henry Uche Ifeanyi, PhD. He is of the Nigerian Police Force. He's a CP.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, legal practitioner. He's been practicing for over 20 years now. His name is Dr. Femi Ogunlade, servant, who is also an expert in corporate governance. Dr. Femi, you are welcome to the program. Thank you. What is artificial intelligence cloning? What is AI cloning?
When artificial intelligence is being used to replicate the identity or the ability of another person to speak the way it is, or the way they behave, or in terms of a behavioral pattern, that is cloning. But the truth of the matter is that cloning, most time, it is not all cloning that is illegal.
Okay, sir.
Now you ask me, how is it that it is not all cloning that is illegal? Where it is authorized. For instance, the CP is here now. It's possible that maybe they are looking for a notorious criminal. Now, something may be done in such a way that, something can be cloned to ensure they catch the thief. So if it is from an authorized, prescribed authority, then it is not illegal.
It's lawful.
But where you are now using it, that's what we are discussing, to commit fraud. Or you are using it without the consent of the owner, of the real person, the primary subject, then it becomes unlawful.
In this crime, can you say is basically different from the traditional SMS and ATM fraud that we generally are getting used to in this part of the world? Is it different from that?
They are similar, because if you look at various laws we have, unfortunately today there is no specific legal framework on artificial intelligence in Nigeria today. There is no specific law, principal enactment that you have. But when you look at it, you discover that there are certain laws that have identified, they call it identity theft. So like using another person's identity to defraud. So it's on the increase, you know. And because of technology, we are having many
various spares.
Yes, so
keep coming out with different
exactly.
colors. Exactly, sir. CP, sir, what have been your experience on this seat, sir?
Well, as the director of the National Cybercrime Center of the Nigerian Police Force, we've actually noticed a lot, going on with regards to the use of artificial intelligence, and the likes of the deepfakes that we're talking about. So it's been a very serious problem. You can imagine when AI is being used to generate, crime. And ask yourself, how do you go after who is behind?
Who is the real criminal?
Who is the real criminal? Is it the individual that uses
Or the
AI
machine?
or the machine? And you only ask yourself, what happens at the end of the day if you identify? How do you now prosecute? AI generated content that is being used to defraud a lot of people. So it's been a big issue. It's been a problem. And of course, for us, we've been tackling issues concerning this. It's things that is on the increase, and we'll see it almost on daily basis. Artificial intelligence has come to stay, but we, as individuals, being the weakest link, because when you talk about cybersecurity, you talk about the three pillars of cybersecurity, where you have the people, process, and technology.
People, say it again, sir.
You have the people, you have the process, and you have the technology.
And the people are the weakest.
And the people are the weakest. Even when you have the best technology, you have the best process on earth, people are usually the link for compromise. Of course, and sources that are readily available for manipulators, including those that uses artificial intelligence to manipulate.
You say this crime is on the increase in Nigeria, and why do you think so?
Recently, we were able to identify a cyber criminal that was able to generate 600 transactions within 1 or 2 minutes using artificial intelligence.
600 transactions.
600 transactions. A cyber criminal was able to transact 600 transactions. So it's a problem.
Using other people's identity, right?
Using people's identity to conduct the transactions. And we were talking about deepfakes. We were talking about some AI-generated content, like the content creators, that were battling on how to contain their excesses now, in our society. People pushing out content using artificial intelligence, like can push over 100 or 1,000 contents, talking about individuals, talking about cyberbullying, cyber stalking human beings, individuals on daily basis. So it's actually a very serious issue.
CP, we have identified the fact that there can be identity theft, there can be AI-generated cloning and all that without cyberbullying, without cyber stalking. That these scammers over time would have studied their victim for a while. They would have studied his mannerism, study all his details before they attack. Do you think that cyberbullying and cyber stalking, which are already in our law, are they enough prescription? Or do you think that from your experience now we should be looking at a review of that Cybercrime Act?
Well, I can tell you clearly there's no perfect document in the world. What the Cybercrime Act we have is actually helping, but it needs review, constant review. So because we're talking about Cybercrime Act, when it came on board, we did not actually have
this kind of
experience. Having technology, having artificial intelligence, not only having artificial intelligence, that aspect is there. But talk about having what we call the machine learning that actually learns
the mannerism,
the use of available data without explicitly being programmed, which makes it, imperatively very, very difficult, for us now, to actually identify what's actually going on. People are talking about artificial intelligence, but what is even yet to come when we talk about the likes of natural language processor using it to identify and so on these things. So when you look at at the mannerism. You talked about cyberbullying, you talked about cyber stalking. So the information sometimes you provide on air, I mean on the cyberspace, equally gives you out. That's why I talked about the weakest thing, calling the individual. You know, sometimes when some of us, when we go to Dubai, like some of us that are privileged to take pictures, or if you see Silverbed Mall, you take pictures. You take pictures,
and you throw it out on Instagram.
You show that you're not using an iPhone 16 Pro Max, you're driving a Porsche car and all the rest. So you're giving out information to cyber criminals, those that will actually bully you. Sometimes they collect all these things from your status. You know, you push out all the contents, you know, from your status. They look at all those things. And of course, they will use it to generate your real image. You know, image that they clone your image. You know, like the voice changing out for instance, that is there. Someone will call you, Barrister, how are you? Are you good? You say, yes, you're good. They record that. And that is exactly what they're going to use in artificial
To generate that
to generate
person's
your
voice.
real voice. To through that the use of that particular voice changing apps. So there's a technology now that can actually strip you naked, of course. And whenever it's posted, you can imagine if you wake up in the morning, you know, first thing you would do is usually to look at our phones, even before you go to pee, right?
Yes.
To check whether you have messages, whether you have pictures,
Whether
whether you
there's
have
any updates.
any updates. And the first thing that pops up on your phone will
Naked.
be your supposed nude picture. And you'll be asking
That would be
yourself,
disastrous.
no, I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend that I shared my nude
Nudity.
with. You'll be battling with your, and I can tell you clearly that your day will be ruined having that as the first thing that pops up in your phone. So it's actually a very big issue. It's an issue that we're tackling. It's an issue that we need to talk to people. So that's why when I received this message, I just got this message a few hours ago.
Wow.
You know, and I looked at the subject matter. I said, oh no, I have to rush to discuss this. We need to talk to our people. We need to sensitize our people. People need to know what to do when faced with issues like this. Awareness is very important.
Very, very.
A lot of victims are out there. People are falling victim on a daily basis just because we don't really
talk about
know
it.
what to do.
Yes,
And people will get all these things, they'll just keep quiet, they'll just sleep. They don't talk to anybody.
CB, sir,
They don't talk to Barrister, they don't talk to the director of
to your
NTFS.
point, perhaps what you consider one of the most difficult, or any of the difficult challenge you have had in terms of cases handled in this respect. However, CP sir, let me just ask Dr. Femi. Doctor sir, let's look at it from another perspective. Let's look at it from the family and home perspective. We realize that some of these scammers prey on the emotions of their victims. So what do you think we can do? Sharing with me just before we came online that someone called and say, are you Dr. So? I mean, and the prevalence also is the prevalence of people who generally will come on our WhatsApp group and say there's a meeting so time, join the meeting. All they need is for you to subscribe. So please share with us what we can do.
CP has said it. Number one, we need to protect our information. Our information and data is very important. There are certain information you don't put on the social media. Maybe in order to, tell people that you have arrived. It's to your disadvantage. So if there's no information, if your data cannot be cloned, then it will be difficult for anyone to, steal your identity. So these are the issues. Even those that are very close to you, there are certain things you need to prevent them from having access to.
What are the people that are most targeted? Parents, elderly, business owners, professionals, or elderly people?
When it comes to that, everybody is a victim. Everybody. It's not restricted. Look, like this thing I told you, a pastor was called that using the voice of one of his members in the church that he has been arrested in Kogi. And, on the basis of religion, they might just transfer 250,000 naira for no reason. So, thereafter, the man now called. And I said, I'm in Abuja now. Why will I go to Lokoja? So that was why if you have any information like that, instead of you to panic, you need to confirm the source.
Verify
The source, whether it is true or not. Somebody telling you to transfer 250,000 naira because it's very close to you. No, identify and cross-check your facts. It's very, very important. So you don't have to be emotional or panic.
People who just enter your WhatsApp by virtue of the fact that you belong to the same group, and they will say, we're having a meeting, so time, join in.
You have, at times you have more than 500 people in the WhatsApp group. Then most times you discover that those people who are not members of the WhatsApp group, they have people found their way
into the group.
to the place. So they can ask you, there's a meeting by 2 o'clock. I've seen many messages like that. A meeting by 2 o'clock. Then, if you know, then you confirm from any of the group, because they will have to use this particular code. Immediately you use the code, you'll be logged out.
From the group?
Yeah, from the group. Then they'll be using your own WhatsApp number to solicit for fund. Right? So, like CP said, it borders on enlightenment, education. You need to tell people that once you see an information like that, don't fall for it.
CP sir, you were going to share with us, is there any case you can say is one of your most shocking or most pathetic case while you've been on this beat, sir?
Okay, because my friend here just talked briefly about that. You see, for us, I keep saying this. You are the person that's 50% of the mistakes. You're the one that is going to enable a cyber criminal to hack you. Okay? What do I mean by that?
Sir, I'd like you to break that down very well for us, particularly because of our listeners.
Okay.
That our listeners are responsible directly for the consequence of their actions. That's what you are saying, sir.
Most times we'll say, in cybersecurity, we'll say, yeah, you need to wash your cyber hands, right?
You need to wash your cyber
hand. You need to practice what we call cyber hygiene.
Wow.
So that means that for you to stay safe online, you must practice that. Some of those security and cyber security tips that will enable you to stay safe
I'm learning
online.
new grammars.
Yes, because one is that, as I said, you're the one that is going to, 50% of the attacks are being enabled by human, right? What do I mean by that? You see, we'll talk about WhatsApp hack, for instance. WhatsApp is encrypted. WhatsApp is very safe. You see, the cyber criminal will use his phone and your phone number to try to create a WhatsApp using his phone. Now, because of the encrypted nature of WhatsApp, WhatsApp will send the 6-digit codes to you, the owner of the number, not the owner of the device. Okay? Now, that is the point where they will call you on phone. Hey, Mr. Ifeanyi, you're going to have a Zoom meeting with the Inspector General of Police around 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. Can you please call out the 6-digit number so that we activate your Zoom meeting?
Wow.
For God's sake. Most of us were familiar with how Zoom works. It's not a link that was sent to you, and you need to activate the link. You don't need anybody to activate your link for you. So whenever you give out the 6-digit code, they will use that 6-digit to hack you out. So the story,
and
they will have complete access. They will have complete access. They will access your contact, and they will start sending messages to Barrister. CP Uche is having issues. Please send 100,000, and it carries sense of urgency. Send 100,000. They will not call big money. They know that Barrister will not, because if they look at they will know that Barrister will not be able to transfer 10 million or 1 million. They will tell Barrister 50,000. Barrister, is it CP? If CP is more than this, you transfer, right?
Without confirming.
Without confirming, because the money looks small. Now they will do this to more than 50, 100 individuals. Calculating 50,000 times 100, they're making a lot of money. Do you understand me? Now, it is not true that people in the group can actually, log you out. No. Is this infiltration enabled by you?
That logs out.
That logs out, because you are going to give them that 6-digit code. If you did not give out that 6-digit code, they will not have access to not log you out. So, and for someone to be admitted in the group, the admin the way this WhatsApp is structured is only the admin that can admit. So that external infiltration is going to be enabled by you.
Yes.
And that's why we will keep saying that you need to wash your cyber hands. Malware, is a total compromise of your system, right? And now, if that happens, it comes like a video. I said that most times we human, the individuals, were the ones that enable an attack to occur. So if you don't practice cyber hygiene, if you're not aware of what to do when confronted with cyber hackers, you always enable this. So most times this malware comes in form of a link, okay? If it's like a phishing link or thereabout. So whenever it pops up, I'm going to show you like a video, okay? Now, when you click on the play icon, the video will play. But brother, I can assure you, you've ended up activated in a malware. And the cyber criminal is going to use your system the way you've been using your system. They can access your confidential information. They can access your account details. They can access your BVN. They can access the whole confidential information that you have in your system. Now, don't enable a hack. Do you understand me? Don't enable that to happen to you. So whenever things pops up in your phone, on your system, ask questions. If you're not expecting a link from the CP, you don't need to activate it. You don't need to click on it. Most times, we do all these things, and it helps the cyber criminals to deal with us.
Okay, let's look at the laws. Let's identify the specific laws as it relates to this AI scam, voice and face scams.
Like I said from the onset, that there is no principal legislation on artificial intelligence that was made or enacted specifically on artificial intelligence in Nigeria. But if you look at Section 37 of the Constitution, it provides that the right of privacy of Nigerian citizens
should be protected.
Their correspondence, their letters, correspondence and everything is guaranteed. So that is the basis upon which other laws that are not made specifically on artificial intelligence will be subsumed. For instance, if you look at the Cybercrime Prohibition Prevention Act 2015, if you look at it, you discover that from section 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on, this section prescribes provision on, a provision on punishment for cyber stalking, cyber bullying, use of somebody's identity. So it's not as if there are no laws or provisions against cloning in Nigeria. But what we are saying is that there is no principal legislation or act that have been enacted for that purpose. But when you look at various laws, apart from that, we also have the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023. Now, this one also protects the data
privacy of an individual.
They call it they call them data subject.
Yes, sir.
Now, however, there are exceptions to it. For instance, if the data is needed for national security, yes, it can be. So as an individual, you cannot claim, for instance, if CP wants to use your data for the purpose of investigating a crime, you cannot claim that under that particular act, you cannot use it.
That your right to privacy.
Yeah, because it's on the basis of fighting crime or national security. So these are the exceptions. Then beyond this, if you also look at Consumer Protection Act
2018.
Yes, there are laws that protect consumer, from being cheated in terms of
being exploited,
either because of what they are engaging, in order to protect their right. But by and large, we have legislations that are very relevant to protecting our data, our identity, that is against identity theft.
Lisa, can we look at, do victims really report this?
Yes,
and how often?
Yes, of course. We've been receiving reports with regards to AI-generated contents, those that are using it to commit crime, also in the area of cyber stalking and cyberbullying, where they use AI-generated contents, images, deepfakes, to cyberbully individuals. We've been receiving that through petitions, addressed to the Inspector General of Police, and apart from that, we'll be receiving that through our e-reporting portal. We have patches of them. Like what happened in other jurisdictions where you have known cyber gangs, like the likes of WannaCry and all the rest from other jurisdictions. In Nigeria, we have patches of them. What they do is to come together, strike, beg their money, then they will split, go and enjoy the money, then maybe probably just come together again if they have a possible victim that they want to attack. They go on there and of course attack the victim, make their money, and of course share their loot. So yes, they work as a group.
Do they operate in Nigeria or outside?
They operate in Nigeria. We have like the gang we busted last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks in Agbo.
That's in Delta State.
That's in Delta State, where foreign intelligence group, colleagues, were able to identify a scam center in Nigeria, in somewhere in Agbo. I've got the shared intelligence, and of course I moved my operatives to that location, and we're able to get a guy who is the boss, of the scam center, and the 6 other individuals. So what they do is to float an investment. If they float an investment, people will start investing, retirement investment and all the rest. At the end, once they make their money, they crash their investment and open another investment. So when we busted the gang, of course, we will recover a whole lot of things. We'll recover their systems, we'll recover the, handheld devices and all the rest. So yes, that's a particular group. And apart from that, yes, we equally attacked. Let me not use the word attack. We equally busted a gang. We have mainly foreigners.
If you attack,
yeah, we stand.
I think that was in the news somewhere in Lagos, right?
No, that was not Lagos. That's in Jahi,
Abuja.
Jahi here.
Foreigners.
So yeah, foreigners. We arrested 113 foreigners in a compound, where you have 4 terrorist duplexes. So what they do is cryptocurrency, investment fraud, online gaming fraud, online casino fraud. So they float this investment. People will start investing $1 million, $100,000, huge sums of money. And just give it like 1 or 2 weeks, they crash the sites, and of course, just similar to what happened, we did, the scam we posted, scam we posted in Agbo. So when we got these guys, people around that area were surprised that we have this number of individuals, white people in that premises. There are mainly of Chinese, or 63 Chinese citizens who have from Myanmar, from Malaysia, from Brazil.
CPSA, unfortunately, intelligent people, professionals, fall victim. Why? People that you call educated Nigerians, they still fall victim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Victor is my name.
Oh.
Director, Abuja.
Okay, sir.
I wish to thank the Commissioner of Police.
Okay.
Is there.
He's listening.
Wherever he is, I thank you for coming to educate the people. Let me ask you this. I believe that there is not enough coordination among the security agencies. For example, sir, mostly Chinese, we get all these people, Chinese, Lebanese, and other foreigners. Now, we have the immigration, department. How are they coordinating and finding out or monitoring those of the foreigners that come into people?
Like somebody staying in the border, the person at the border is sleeping and is leaving the job to the person at the city center that go and deal with it. So that's the case, that's the way it sounds. The people who we talk about most of the time, and recently we have noticed that in your arrest and prosecution, we have a lot of Chinese.
That are illegal immigrants.
Illegal. Most of them are illegal. Most of them are illegal. So How did they come into the country?
Well, I know that the security agencies are actually working together. And of course, for us with the immigrations, we have a very good working relationship.
Synergy.
Yes, very good coordination, cooperation, collaboration that is going on. And I know that my Inspector General of Police is an advocate of that. I remember a couple of times that, we met and discussed about how to cooperate with other relevant agencies. So in the case of the Chinese people who were arrested, we actually involved the NIS, the immigration. So we actually involved the
Were they legal immigrants?
What we discovered was that some of them entered Nigeria
Illegally, I can
not illegally.
I can see
Not illegally. They entered Nigeria
legally.
Yes, legally. But some of them when they entered
With these
their
temporary
visas,
work permits
exactly,
that permit
their
them to work
visa
for
might
2 months, 3
expire
months.
and not ready, waiting to renew it. Yeah, but I can tell you clearly that the immigrations are doing a lot of job, and they're doing a lot to help us manage the influx of people, foreigners into Nigeria. And of course, the cooperation is going on.
So many things to talk about, but I've not even gone halfway yet.
Because most of them have refused to wash their cyber hands. I really want you to understand.
Cyber hygiene.
Yeah.
Cyber
Because
hygiene.
once you don't practice, it's not about whether you're a PhD holder, whether you're a professor. There are a whole lot of professors that have helped to recover funds. There are a whole lot of educated individuals that have helped to recover money and other things, from cyber criminals. So if for you to understand what to do when confronted with that situation,
So we are
and I believe that your unit, Redeem 94.7 FM, can actually help Nigerians, can actually help victims of cybercrime, can actually help potential victims of cybercrime on how to stay safe online by this sensitized, constant education, talking to our people on how to practice cyber hygiene and on how to wash your cyber hands. Thank you.